And today I'm going to be talking about how social media has a notable negative effect on the youth of America. So statistics reveal that about 71% of teenagers aged between 13 and 18 in the US use more than one social media platform. Whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, or Instagram, there's an increased use of these platforms and it's become easier to access as technology advances. Daily use of social media has created a negative impact on students across the country, especially towards mental health disorders that affect people's mood, thinking, behavior. The constant use and accessibility also affects brain development and social skills. So one way it harms the mental health of these students is it creates a rise in depression and anxiety. A study was published in the American Psychiatric Association in 2016 that found that the use of multiple social media platforms is more strongly associated with depression and anxiety among young adults than time spent online. These findings come from a national survey about 2,000 young students and asked about their use of 11 popular social media platforms between Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. The analysis showed that people who reported usually using the most platforms between 7 to 11 had more than 3 times the risk of depression and anxiety than people who used about 0 to 2 platforms. Another risk is cyberbullying with social media. Teen girls in particular are at risk of cyberbullying through the use of social media, but teen boys are also not immune. Cyberbullying is associated with depression, anxiety, and an elevated risk of suicidal thoughts. Social media also harms brain development in many ways. Robin Threwood said that adolescents suffering from internet addiction may, over time, experience structural changes in brain and have lower gray matter. Teens who suffer from other addictive tendencies, like substances, may therefore be predisposed to becoming addicted to social media and the internet. They also increases the loss of focus and the distractions. Robin also states that the multitasking commonly associated with social media can cause adults and children to take longer to accomplish tasks, which also hinders the quality of their homework, because they're always wanting to be on social media, so it's always in the back of their mind to check. Social media negatively also affects social skills. The lack of these social skills can be seen with interactions in real world. When they're on their phones constantly, a lot of these students are missing out on important parts of communicating, and includes facial expressions, eye contact, tone of voice, as well as posture, the space between individuals, etc. Understanding the nonverbal aspects communication is crucial, because social situations we need to modify our behavior in response to the reactions of others. Our ability to process emotion cues is associated with personal, social, and academic success. This also leads to social isolation. It turns out that the people who are reportedly spending the most time on social media, more than 2 hours a day, have twice the odds of perceived social isolation than those who have spent about half an hour per day. And people who visit a social media platforms, most frequently 58 visits per week or more, have more than 3 times the odds of perceived social isolation. So as you can see, with all this use of social media, the students are negatively getting affected by it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, the proposition's pretty clear at the beginning of the speech. I thought that your exit line also reminds us of what the point is, so there's not much doubt about what your argument's going to be. I didn't really hear much of a preview of what the supporting structure was going to be. I just knew that there were going to be some general issues about the problems of social media. And in the body of the speech, it was not numerically signposted. Now I could pick out some things that you were talking about. There's mental health, there's cyberbullying, there's addiction, there's social skills, there's social isolation. So it sounds like maybe there are 4 or 5 particular things you're talking about. Some of them might be subsets of one category or another, but it was not very clear. So I think that you need to maybe emphasize the structure a little bit more, work on that in the opening section more so it's clear where it is that you're headed, and then better signposting in the body of the speech. I did hear some research in the presentation. There were some citations presented for the information that you gave us, but there were also some things where I think you gave us information that may have come from one of the sources that you previously cited, but you didn't cite it a second time or didn't tell us that that's where it came from. And I thought that was a little bit iffy. There's some statistical information on each of the points that you've got. There's the stuff on cyberbullying, though there's nothing on cyberbullying at all. And the stuff about social skills seems a little limited. It's a piece of testimony. There's not really much documentation other than the authority offering that opinion on that. And so I think that is potentially problematic. The social isolation issue, you've got some statistical data on that. Like I said, some of this is cited a little bit better than others, but I could tell that there's research there. So I would say the structural things need the most work, and then maybe the citation issues could help as well. All right. Presentation, I got to be honest with you, one of the things I was thinking about was we were just talking about, those social skills that you need, to be able to read cues and all that kind of stuff that's in your argument. And you kind of don't do any of that. You don't look at the audience. You're not engaging us. You're not giving us any social cues to listen to or watch while you're speaking. So you need to kind of engage in that way a little bit more, too, to enhance your credibility on the subject. All right. Thank you.